So you're setting up to do your tattoo. Tribal, neo-traditional, probably something gothic. Who knows? But you're going to need a bit of equipment, some essentials. First thing on that list is going to be gloves. The reason you're going to need gloves is so that you can protect your ground zero, your hands, from any potential bloodborne pathogen or bacteria. You're going to want to make sure that you're not cross contaminating either. This is why we always wear gloves. And if we have to swap them out between stations or a clean station to your tattooing station, just swap them out. No big deal. Just make sure that you always have on clean gloves. The next thing that we're going to need on our list are tattoo machines. Whether it's a pen style machine or a traditional coil machine, you're going to need some type of a machine. If you want something with an easy learning curve and ease of use, try a pen style machine. With the pen style machine, it normally has a digital readout which tells you the voltage, the battery life, and some of them do record how long you've been tattooing. If you want something more traditional, go with the coil machine. Though, with the coil machine, I would recommend for you to be either intermediate or professional to try using the coil machine because they require a lot of tuning. When you're going to be using a tattoo machine like this, you're going to want to consider things like how to set the needle, how to appropriately set it for either lining or shading. Either way though, you're going to need a machine. You're going to need a power supply. A lot of these pen style machines do come with RCA cables that are compatible with these power supplies, and you can just run one with a foot pedal and basically do the same job. It's like having a traditional machine but with the pen style. Also, if you want to be able to just be efficiently clean, get yourself some cling film. You're going to create a barrier on everything with cling film. You're going to wrap this on absolutely everything. Your light, your bottles, whatever surface that you're going to set up on. This is absolutely necessary. There is no doing a tattoo without cling film. Some people even go an extra step and wrap this on the tattoo after they're finished so the client gets home and keeps the tattoo clean without bumping on anything. What also helps in the tattoo process is grip tape. With a good grip tape, it's all about comfortability. Comfortability. It's all about being comfortable. With grip tape, they come in a various amount of colors, and the aim is just so you're not raw dogging the metal machine on your hands and dealing with cons. The next thing on our list is gonna be inks. I use Super Black by Intent. Blackest of black, triple black. I'm not sponsored by Super Black or Intent, Intent, but this is very incredible ink. It's super. So even if you're going with another brand like Dynamic or somebody else like Eternal, point is you're gonna need yourself some ink, and they come in big sizes and smaller sizes. These I think are 1 ounce bottles, and they do the job. So even if you do have a 1 ounce of black, it gets some mileage, is what I'm saying. And it does come in various pigments. You're gonna get blue, red, dragon colors, zombie colors, you name it. So you have your inks, you're gonna need something to put your inks in. So you're gonna need ink caps. Ink caps are gonna come in various sizes, small, medium, large. Essential purpose is just to add your inks in, have a really nice ink well so you can dip, go. These are very disposable. I don't want to see anybody reusing these. I live on an island in the Caribbean. I've seen some wild stuff. So just dispose. The next thing we're gonna need, needles. With these needles, you're gonna have types. So you're gonna have your long bar needle for the traditional foil machine, and you're gonna have your cartridge needles for your pen style tattoo machine. We're gonna also need paper and stencil paper. Paper, I use printing paper, regular printing paper, to do my designs, sketch, and then I use stencil paper, sometimes by Spirit or any other brand that I could get my hand on, so that I could get a really crispy stencil. So I can lay it on the skin, have something really nice. A lot of people these days do a lot of printing with the tattoo printing machines, stencil printing machines. But I normally do traditional route. I do everything traditional way. I take my sketch, then I put it on my stencil paper, trace it out by hand, get a really crispy stencil, so I could proceed with the tattoo. The next thing we're gonna need is some ointment or tattoo glide and a speed stick. Speed stick is generally so we can transfer the stencil that we created. And with the speed stick, you're gonna want to be mindful to be cleanly. Put this on some tissue and then put it on the client. And with this, it's just so that we can keep the area clear and it doesn't clog up as much, because when I say clog up, I mean you don't want a lot of ink floating on the surface and then you can't see what you're doing. This helps with that. You're not going to put a thick layer down whereas it's just gunky, but a very thin layer so your hands can, one, glide easily across the surface of the skin, and two, you could just easily clean the surface of the skin. The next thing that we're gonna need is some type of a squeeze or spray bottle. Me, I have this cool looking skull shaped one. Gonna have some generic looking ones, but you're going to need a spray bottle just so you can spray on the surface of the skin and make sure that you can wipe and see clearly. What is in this is just generic green soap. You're gonna dilute it with some distilled water. This is just so we can clean the surface and work accordingly. We don't want to be just having dark, muddy surface of the skin and then we can't actually see where we're placing new lines. Before doing any tattoo, you're going to absolutely have to shave the surface. So get you some shave sticks. Shave sticks are very cheap, disposable. Again, just like with the ink caps, don't be reusing these. Toss them. Not very expensive, and you want to shave because you want to avoid ingrown hairs, because if the needle is tattooing over hairs, sometimes it causes ingrown. Shave this off. Won't take that long anyway. You're going to also need a really nice tissue paper. Why are you going to need some tissue? You're going to be wiping all the time. You're going to be wiping on your surfaces, you're going to be wiping the skin, you're going to be repetitively wiping. With tissue, you're going to want to get something that's not too thick or coarse and something that's not too thin. If you get something that's too coarse, it's going to be too rough against the skin in the process and the skin is going to get irritated, making the tattoo process for the client a lot more hard. What harder? English, people. And if you get something that's too thin, it's going to be brittle and it's going to break down. You're going to have tissue everywhere. It's going to be a mess. So get something that's in between. On the account of wiping down all your surfaces, you're going to need some type of disinfectant wipe. With these disinfectant wipes, again, you can get some with Clorox, you can get some with other disinfectant products, or you can get them with Cavicide. Cavicide is just a really strong disinfectant that kills bloodborne pathogens, and you're going to absolutely want to be wiping every surface 100% of the time. Don't be slighting anything, don't be shortcutting anything. All of these pieces of equipment are absolutely necessary. There is no doing a tattoo without any part of the equipment setup that we just went through. Yeah, you could have more complex setups, whereas you have a lot more equipment, gray wash type inks, because they do come in sets. But this is the basic amount of equipment that you're going to absolutely need to do a tattoo. If you want to get good, just focus on the fundamentals until great.